Your first anime, the show that made you fall down the rabbit hole to where you are now. For most people, it'll be something relatively standard, like Naruto or Sword Art Online, maybe Attack on Titan. But for the select few, they aren't quite so lucky as to get something, normal or good or however you want to spin, your opinion on the shows I just mentioned. And I am in the unlucky few where I didn't get a standard anime as my first or my introduction to the medium. For me, I was introduced to anime through High School DxD. Now, if you don't know what High School DxD is, well, let's get onto it. But the title of this video probably isn't a lie. I have spent a lot of time watching anime since, and, well, I don't think it's done me any good. But anyway, High School DxD, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it, if not watched it. But what's so good about it? Why did watching High School DxD not put me off anime forever? Well, to an extent you could say it did for at least a little while. I watched it many years before I properly got into anime, but apparently that wasn't enough of a deterrent to put me off it completely, so I guess it laid the seed that would lead me to where I am now. But let's think about it. The plot. And not that kind. The real kind of plot. The story, if you want me to be pedantic. It's incomprehensibly stupid. Of course it is. It's an ecchi harem that's main gimmick is the main character gets stronger when he touches tit. So of course it's dumb. There is some level of world building that actually makes the show interesting. Its magic system is just hand-wavy, bullshit, so there's no complexity there. And there's outside of a handful of, random demon politics, you don't have to worry about using your brain too much while watching High School DxD. Instead, you can focus on the other kind of plot, if you catch my drift. And I'm sure you do, if you have seen anything relating to this show. And speaking of that kind of plot, it's not bad. Outside of the first season, the show actually has some pretty consistently good animation, albeit there is a very distinct art style change when studios were changed between Season 2 and 3. Personally, I like the art style change. I prefer Season 3 and 4's art style compared to Season 1 and 2, but that might just be due to the virtue of it's more consistent with the quality of it compared to in Season 1, where there is a lot of the face melty type shit that you see. But the ecchi elements of the show, yeah, if you're 14, they're pretty good. But well, that's probably why I like this show, because I watched it when I was 14. Yeah, that summarizes everything really. But moving on, DxD. It was one of the first anime I watched, right? And like most people, I watched my first show dubbed. And High School DxD, I can't speak for the sub, but the dub just doesn't care. It just really doesn't care, especially in Season 1. Afterward, they care a little bit more, but yeah, there are zero fucks given with DxD's dub. They just say and do whatever they want, as long as they want, and yeah, it takes the incomprehensibly stupid plot and makes it unsurmountably just brain dead, but immensely hilarious. At least, I found it hilarious. I haven't watched it in a very long time, so I can't exactly tell you how I think about it now, but back then, I very much enjoyed this show for the comedy, the story, the plot. The characters are pretty good too. There are at least a very good handful of waifus within there. Obviously, you can go look that up yourself, do yourself some research, and I'm sure you'll probably at the very least like what you see. Personality-wise, some of them can be a bit one-note, but because the show is 4 seasons long, pretty much every character that's relevant gets a good amount of development. So, the characters aren't all, your cookie-cutter tropes that you see in modern harem shows. So you can have that to look forward to if you want a harem with a bit more substance to it than a lot of what you'll probably have been used to watching. And yes, that's High School DxD. An unbelievably stupid, but brilliant time that ruined my life and sent me down the spiral to anime hell, and, well, the spiral down to degeneracy, which is why I am where I am now. I'll never get out, and neither will you. And so if you like this video, leave a like, comment, sub, hit the notification bell, you know, the usual YouTube thing. And with that out of the way, I've been Animosity, you've been you, and I'll see you all next time for another video. Ta-ta, for now.